What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we got a massive news drop in regards to Call of Duty. We originally thought that this would probably have to do with the Season 5 update because we are expecting all the marketing and the blog post to go live this week, but we actually ended up getting more Black Ops 6 information. So that's what we're going to be focusing on in this one. If you find the video helpful or informative at any point, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We are very close to 400K. Before we get into it, a quick word from our sponsor, MessyModdingStore.com. It's a store that can get you the most exclusive operators, help you complete your mastery camo challenges, and much more. And the reason why I promote them is they do everything 100% legit without using mods or unlocked tools. And not to mention they have some of the best reviews, so check them out. The link will be down in the description. Jumping into the very first topic, this is actually some pretty big news. Call of Duty has announced an official Call of Duty podcast. So this says, introducing the hashtag CODPod, the official Call of Duty podcast. For our inaugural episode, we chatted with Treyarch about all things Black Ops 6, including omnidirectional movement, new details on the beta, plus more exclusive intel. It's looking like this is a brand new series that they're going to be doing where they're pretty much hosting a podcast where many people can ask their questions. If you want to ask any of yours, you can tweet at them using hashtag CODPod and then asking your question. And if it is chosen, it will be answered within their next podcast. And they're probably going to be doing these every couple weeks, maybe every month. They didn't really give us an exact date and time on when they plan on doing these, but it's a very big W because this is where Call of Duty is going to directly answer and talk to fans and players worldwide, and we'll get all the information that they're able to give out directly from the devs themselves, the ones who know best about Call of Duty. So I definitely think that this is a very massive W, and going forward, this may help a lot with communications, and if there's any issues or something that they're working on, they will consistently update us with the COD pod and drop them in the episodes and give us some information. So the very first one that they dropped was around 50 something minutes long. I'll go ahead and link it down in the description if you guys want to hear it, but I will summarize it for you guys. The first thing that they mentioned is they talked about the Black Ops 6 campaign. That one was pretty straightforward. They just really mentioned the timing of the storyline, so it takes place after the Cold War era. Frank Woods is out of commission. There is a new main protagonist, which is going to be Marshall, and they also mentioned that that also includes the 80s and the early era of Black Ops 2 where Hudson and Mason died, so they did confirm that they are dead. They don't really showcase any gameplay footage. It's mainly just a podcast where they speak on the campaign, the storyline, and the timeline. All the information was mentioned during the direct as well, so if you watch that, you should be good to go on that information. But they then talked about omnidirectional movement, and this is the information that was brand new that they gave us that we didn't know about during the direct. The first thing you need to know is omnidirectional movement is not a setting. It's not something that you can turn on or off. It's something that you are gonna have to use, and it's a part of the in-game mechanics, and they really worked very hard on this. Apparently they've recorded over thousands of different animations just to make sure that the omnidirectional movement is fluid and the fidelity quality is at the best that it could possibly be. On top of that, they say that there's a couple of different play styles that you can play it with, and although you can't turn it off, they said you can play without it, which means that you can dive, sprint, and run forward, but you don't have to do it sideways, and it'll still feel completely normal. They mentioned that you won't be at a disadvantage, so they mentioned that they're balancing it between people who want to play the regular way that Call of Duty was versus the people who want to use the new omnidirectional features, and they put a huge focus on making sure that they don't widen the skill gap among the players who use it versus the ones who don't. So it's mainly just an experience thing. So he mentioned that it's just for people who want that action hero movement. So if you dive out of the window, you turn around and then there's an explosion and then you start shooting backwards, stuff like that, to just make it feel really cool and help you feel a brand new experience when you play Call of Duty. And then they also mentioned that there's micro adjustments. For example, instead of turning a corner, you can side sprint while you are clearing the corner, and that's other micro adjustment ways that you are able to use the omnidirectional feature just to spice up and change up your gameplay. So when the beta launches, and we'll talk about all the details about the beta in just a second, you'll be able to try that omnidirectional feature for yourself. But they mentioned if you don't like it and you don't want to use it, you're not going to feel a disadvantage compared to other people who do it. Now, the next thing that they talked about was the Black Ops 6 Prestige. So classical Black Ops 6 Prestige is going to be coming back, and that means you first start off at level 1, work all the way up until level 55. You will then be granted the opportunity to Prestige. It's usually optional. If you want to do it, you can. You don't have to. But when you click that prestige, you will then go back and start on the next prestige and work your way up to level 55 once again, and keep repeating this process up until you reach maximum prestige. Now, once you get to max prestige, the levels are no longer going to be reset every 55. You're just going to have to climb all the way up until level 1000. Now, they mentioned that there will be a reward that you will get if you reach the maximum level cap, and because it's just a big grind overall, the reward is going to be something good and definitely worth it. But unfortunately, they did not tell us exactly what that is. They just teased at the fact that there will be a reward at the end. Once again, they don't show any photos of the prestige or any gameplay. This is just a podcast of them speaking about it, so I don't have any like footage to showcase. But the next new feature that they talked about was the Black Ops 6 assisted intelligent movement. This is completely different than omnidirectional movement. Unlike that, you can actually change and adjust these settings to either turn them on or off depending on your playstyle. So what this does is it's basically like having auto sprint on. You turn the setting on and it'll automatically sprint for you. You just have to put up on the analog stick and you'll automatically start sprinting. It's the same thing, but it's going to be with mantling, with climbing, with sliding, and those types of features they already teased and showcased during the direct. They mentioned that this is one of these features that is definitely going to depend upon the player and their playstyle. So some people will have all the settings on. Some people may not want to automatically mantle and would like to head glitch or, you know, stay at a ledge or a little hiding point and they don't want to automatically climb over that. So that's fine. There's also delays that they plan on introducing, which will give the intelligent movement a 1 second delay. For example, if you reach a head glitch point or an area that you can mantle but you don't want to mantle it, you can set this 1 second delay so you can push up towards it, and for that second you'll get as close as possible but you won't mantle, and then if you keep holding it after that, you will end up climbing over, so that way you don't automatically climb over and then get yourself killed. The next feature for multiplayer that is back is going to be the original score streak feature that we had in Black Ops 2. What this means is that you would get assists for destroying UAVs, destroying equipment, eliminating other players. So it's not the kill streak where you have to get these kills in order to get these score streaks. They also mentioned that they don't have them looping. That's something that they thought about, but they don't want the kill streaks to loop because then people will keep spamming the same kill streaks over and over again, and they sort of want to avoid that. They didn't mention if the score streaks would stack or not, and this will reset your score streaks upon death, so it's not going to play out like it did in Cold War. And then they also talked about the dedicated melee slots. So every single player will have a dedicated melee that they can put on. This could be a knife, a baseball bat. They said there's going to be an assortment of them available at launch. There's going to be a couple during the beta, and you're going to get to test it out for yourself. They also mentioned that they don't want players just running around and being annoying with the melee weapons, so they are tuning them and balancing them right. So they're probably not going to be automatic one hits. Maybe to the back they are, but in the front you'll need to hit them a couple of times. Those are like some of the ways that I think that they're probably going to balance them. There might be a cooldown for how often you can pull it out. I'm not entirely sure. They didn't mention the details and specifics on how they're going to balance them. They just mentioned that they are going to be balanced and not overpowered. Now, before we talk about the actual beta itself, they did mention zombies, and these are the details they gave us for zombies. So first off, they are going to be completely round-based maps. There's going to be 2 available on the first day of Black Ops 6, so during the launch, and the first one is going to be Liberty Falls, which is going to be set in West Virginia. We did talk about it when we talked about the maps that are going to be coming in. There was already a couple of versions. I guess the multiplayer version of this map was already shown a couple of times during the direct, which is like the big superstore, the movie shop, and like the little DVD rental area. So this is going to be where the zombies is going to take place. They're probably going to be reusing these buildings, adjusting them accordingly and changing them up, but that's the first map. The second one is going to be called Terminus. That's the island that they actually showed a little bit of gameplay footage of when they introduced these zombies during the direct. So this footage that you're seeing right here is the Terminus Island being showcased, and they mentioned that storyline based, they're going to be taking place during the same exact time. And they mentioned it's something that you'll understand when you actually get to play both of the maps. You'll see the similarities and how the storylines, I guess, collaborate and string together. Anyways, the next thing that they ended up talking about in the podcast was the Black Ops 6 beta. So they have officially given us and confirmed the Black Ops 6 beta date. So first, we start off with COD Next. That's going to be taking place on August 28th, which falls on a Wednesday. That's around like 8 or 9 a.m. And then they go live throughout the entire day. You get to watch creators play. You get to see all the gameplay, multiplayer reveal trailer, the footage, a little bit of zombies, a little bit of Warzone. They did talk about how they were going to showcase Warzone and zombies live footage during COD Next, but that's going to be taking place on that Wednesday and then the weekend following that. So we originally thought it was going to start the same day, but according to those leaks and rumors, those are actually false. It actually will go live on August 30th, and that will begin for the pre-orders. So if you pre-order the game or you have a existing membership with the Xbox Game Pass that makes you eligible to play this, then you will start on August 30th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which falls on a Friday, and it goes throughout the entire weekend, all the way up until September 4th, which falls on a Wednesday. So Wednesday, 10 a.m. That's more than the entire weekend, so quite a bit of days, and that's going to be available for all platforms. I just want to let you guys know that there is no exclusivity this time around. For the first time ever, a beta will be available for all platforms at the same exact time, so you don't have to worry about Xbox or PlayStation or any particular console getting a set of extra days. And then the next week after that, starting 2 days later on September 6th, this is the second weekend, and this will be live for everyone, so open to people who didn't even pre-order the game. It doesn't matter. You're going to be able to try out Black Ops 6 and play it for yourself. And for those of you guys who pre-ordered, you get access to the open beta weekend as well, so you get to play both weekends. So it's quite a bit of time that we get to try it out. And the best part is, with them doing the beta a lot earlier, towards the end of August, beginning of September, that gives us around a month and a half until the game launches. In that time, they may introduce a part 2 of the beta for lucky. They may extend the beta weekend. That's just a hope. Nothing is confirmed, but it's just one of those things that I'm pretty sure once you get to try and play the game, that month is going to be the longest month that you'll ever have to wait until Black Ops 6 fully launches, and I'm pretty sure that they understand that, so maybe we'll get another opportunity at it. But in terms of the content, you can expect 3 to 4 beta multiplayer maps. During the podcast, they didn't tell us exactly what maps they were going to be. They just mentioned that a couple of the maps are their absolute favorites out of all 16 that are going to be available at launch, so you can expect that there's going to be some pretty good ones. And then for the modes, you can expect TDM, Domination, the core regular standard modes that we've always seen with every beta. They may introduce something like a gunfight 2v2 or some sort of a face-off for the strike maps, just so you can test those out. And then everything else that I've talked about in the video, the omnidirectional movement, the movement assist, and in terms of level, they may let you go all the way up until level 55 and then cut it off there before you're able to prestige. And then, as you know, with levels, that means that there's going to be some sort of beta rewards involved, and they will extend from weekend 1, starting off with the first set. There's probably going to be like a level cap of 30 or something like that for the first weekend, and then when weekend 2 opens up, they will open up the level and increase it to 55, and then there will be other additional rewards that you'll be able to claim continuously as you level up. And I forgot to mention, but there's also going to be the Vault Edition operator. So if you pre-order the Vault Edition, you will have full access to all that content on the beta. That means you're going to be able to use the Hunters versus Hunted operator pack, which include that Adler skin, that Park skin, the Brutus and Klaus skins, and then there's the Mastercraft collection, so you'll have full access to these for whichever weapons that are going to be available in the beta. The combat knife, you're probably going to have that Mastercraft for, the Marine SP, the Ames, the Jackal PDW, and the LR 7.62. I'm not sure if you're going to get access to the Woods operator skin or not, because I know it's playable in MW2 and MW3, and they mentioned it would carry forward, but I don't know if it'll be there in the beta. But at the moment, these are all the items that you will be able to use on the first day, so you'll be able to flex that you do have the Vault Edition during the beta, which is very similar to how it was with Modern Warfare 3. But that's all that I have for you guys here in regards to this video. There is some Season 5 news, which I'll be probably making another video and talking about. Anyways, that's all that I got for you guys in the video. I hope you found it informative. If you did, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It's been your boy Trizo, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys again. Peace.